I'm really bummed out because I wanted to have a Devo shirt for this.
Why?
Because I wanted all of my shirts to be like vaguely appropriate, and I thought that'd be really good to have a shirt from the band that so I can whip it.
I'm fucking dumb.
I don't think you're out of shot. I think you're close though. You're right out of shot. Welcome to Movie Nights at the Round Table.
That gag works on a short-term level.
I'm Rick.
I'm Ben.
I'm Sarah.
And
that's everyone. We're all here.
That is, and Lindsay.
The ethereal form.
Our special fourth guest for this episode is no one.
Zima's in a chair. You can't see her, but
she was in the room for most of the movie.
That is true. That's true.
I didn't really adjust this mic. Continue.
So we watched Iron Man 2, the third Marvel Cinematic Universe video.
Iron Man 2,
movie.
the third.
You did Iron Man 1, I think, right?
Yeah, I did the other two.
Yeah,
did you do the Hulk also?
Yeah.
I thought we had Lindsay do Hulk. I don't know.
Lindsay wasn't there for Hulk.
Oh, you're right.
It was John.
All right, then explain Iron Man 2
me
then.
plus John equals Lindsay.
We did call John
kind
Lindsay,
of
so that's
yeah. Why don't you? All right, I am gonna move this because now you're bumping it. Why don't you explain while I do this? Explain the plot to Iron Man 2.
Oh, do I have
Me?
to? Why?
You did Hulk. I can do Iron Man 2.
Okay, good.
Iron Man 2 is a tragic tale about a father who loses his son to evil forces.
It is?
Are you sure? Are you thinking of Star Wars?
Oops.
It sounds like
even
Star
then,
Wars.
Not really. Tony Stark.
Tony Star Wars.
Tony Stark is he's being poisoned by the palladium core of his blue heart, and then evil Russian man, because only Russians can be evil. Well, not only, but all Russians are evil in movie universe. Whose dad worked with Howard Stark and was fucked over by Howard Stark, makes his own arc reactor, and he makes electric whips because that's the best way to hurt someone. And then Tony races a car and gets whipped real good. There's a bad robot making person. His name is some kind of pun on making things. It's like a James Wrench or Joey Screwdriver, one of those. Justin Hammer is his name.
Phillips.
Oh,
Phillips Head.
Oh.
Phillips
You're looking at me like, what the fuck?
I thought you were talking about Ivan Vanko, and I was
no.
what?
He's the
Hammer.
rival of Tony Stark.
Got it.
And he's trying to make his own Iron Man, and he hires the whip Russian to make more suits to beat Tony Stark. That's the movie.
Yeah, I guess that's.
And then there are lots of explosions, and Tony kisses Pepper.
Black best friend helps out, and they save the day.
And it is now.
I'm afraid.
Don Cheadle.
I'm afraid. While that was a very accurate assessment, you unfortunately missed the record for the shortest version of that, which is Tony Stark learns nothing from his first movie and has to relearn the same lesson again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of the things that I said were accurate, but are you okay?
To be fair to Tony, he thought he was dying for like 90%.
Oh, he was dying for 90% of the movie.
Well, yeah.
Like, I just said everything that happens in the movie. Like, nothing happens.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we came on, and like
nothing happens in this movie.
Iron Man 2 is really hard to describe without framing it in the context of whether they do it better or worse than Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
It's just not a lot goes on.
90% is worse. Don Cheadle is better than Terrence Howard.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. He is definitely better.
The relationship seems to make more sense between the two of them.
He's not mean. In the first one, it was like a weirdly mean-spirited relationship between them, and in this one, it's like...
I got the vibe that it was like Terrence Howard had been assigned to look after Tony, and he didn't like it because Tony was a pain in his ass.
I told you I'm not mad. I'm indifferent, okay?
I said I was sorry.
Good morning, you don't need to apologize to me. I'm not mad.
I told him I was sorry, but he
I'm just indifferent right now. You don't respect yourself, so I know you don't respect me.
I respect
I'm just your babysitter, and so, you know, when you need your diaper change, thank you. Let me know, and I'll get you a bottle, okay?
Hey!
I think the problem is that
hemorrhoid?
Terrence Howard was trying to explain to Tony Stark that 1 × 1 = 2.
Do you want to pull that up? Because I couldn't find it.
1 times 1?
Yeah.
1 × 1 = 2, according to Terrence Howard.
That's not...
Talk about something, I'll find it.
That's not how that works, though.
It sure isn't. not
it's
Howard.
1 plus
Terrence.
1. Like
So this movie seems to be like weirdly like a little too self-aware. The one joke that I think they pull off that is self-aware and funny is like you get like, oh, Lieutenant Colonel James Rhodes, and
the
and
very
Tony walks
beginning,
up, and he's just like,
This
oh, I
is
wasn't
me,
expecting to see
deal
you
with
here.
it.
Rhodey? What? Hey, buddy. Didn't expect to see you here.
Look, it's me. I'm here. Deal with it. Let's move on.
I just
Drop it.
All right, I'll drop it.
Yeah, and it's me. It's whatever, and it's like, all right, just to the audience, like, yo, it's too late. This has happened by now.
I mean, it's
my
it's a
God.
It's
Tonka.
Tonka.
She is.
Okay,
Oh, there
look
she
away.
is, right into the camera. Boom.
Hey.
Oh my God.
I
Look at
don't
my
believe
butt
he's a
now.
crank, but that he simply misunderstood the definition of multiplication. I was baffled by how someone could say
no.
1 × 1 = 2, but now it's clear to me why he wrongly but understandably thinks so. On his Twitter account, he posted some stuff about his teriology. Teriology! But
That's super weird.
Whatever, it's a lame joke and nobody cares about anything that I say.
But Iron Man 2,
2,
though, it's kind of amazing how hard it is to pay attention to Iron Man 2. Because there's so much... It's...
Ben's cocking up a hairball. Don't mind us. Just
It's...
This- second.
the little cat.
there's a little cat.
Did this happen
on
last
his
time? Am I
microphone
crazy?
Attacking him in the. You're crazy. This
I
did not
thought-
happen now.
I thought Ben had an issue with it. Maybe this was on mic for something else.
Yeah, it might have been a video.
Oh my God.
Hairs on these little. Never mind.
Yeah, it's because we
There's
have
hairs on
cats,
this.
Ben.
Yeah. But they're on the microphone.
Yes, because we have cats.
Don't worry, Zima. Everything's fine.
Zimazov just looking at Ben like, what's up?
Oh, it's still in the back of my throat.
So
That's what she said.
everything that happens in this
That's
movie
unfortunate.
is so just middle.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that's like bad. There's some
Love
stuff they
me.
do that's better than the movies that come out later, but there's so little that excels.
This movie is like having a cat hair stuck in the back of your throat.
So, all right,
That can be the only analogy you have to work with for a little while here.
I'm stuck on that.
like
Just like
stuck
a
on the back of your throat.
Oh, yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
How much hair got in there?
Oh my God.
That's what she
It's like
said.
I was- Never mind.
Anyway, so the main kind
Is
of
that water
theme,
okay to drink?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably.
It was just
the,
frozen.
ma- the main theme that this movie it hammers into your head. Justin Hammer. It it drives it in really immediately. They drop bits about like sins of the father, and they drop in legacy hard
Oh, yeah.
immediately, and they keep
It's a
driving
hardcore.
at it.
This is about your dad and about his
It's
dad.
about what you leave
thing.
behind, and like
The past affects the present.
right.
But that only takes up like actually like I don't know, felt like 15 minutes of screen time.
Except that it then ties back into Tony's dying. So Tony is dying of palladium poisoning.
Yeah.
That is
That's what fuels his core or something.
Sorry, I'm fascinated.
the core of his miniature arc reactor is run off of palladium core, and it's
Oh, it's
poisoning
9
his
o'clock.
body.
I'm done with this interview.
I'm just gonna
Look, this
Drink
movie.
heavier. That's
Yeah.
the lesson you learned from this movie.
White Russian. I missed my opportunity with both Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk. This is number 3.
Well, now we actually had a Russian
the
in this movie.
Yeah,
so.
the first. I mean, Iron Man 1 had Jeff Bridges, and the Incredible Hulk had Emil Blonsky.
I don't get that one.
He's Russian.
Oh, okay. But the character wasn't Russian, was he?
Yeah, the character is Russian. Tim Roth isn't. But Emil Blonsky, the character, the Abomination, is a Russian.
Oh, but not in the movie. He's American.
Nope.
The Abomination?
Yep.
Played by Tim Roth.
Yes.
But in the movie,
Yeah.
he was American.
No.
He was Russian?
Yes.
Working for the Americans.
Yes.
Okay.
He was a
Got
he
there.
was a Russian. He was a Russian-born soldier who used to work with the British Army
Amazing.
and has come over to work with the American Army.
Okay, so he's Russian by heritage,
Yes.
not by affiliation.
I mean, Russian by heritage is the first one that really matters. So
But we just watched Tonka. This is just great.
But this one we got
solid gold footage.
Oh my god,
here.
I forgot what movie we were watching. Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
It's got Ivan Vanko, so White Russian. So
it's about as interesting.
White.
This movie's not interesting.
It's so hard to like focus on it. It's so weird. Like, man. Oh, we got fine. Scarlett Johansson.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot
she's
about
sort
her.
of very like a surprise character.
How could I forget
Yeah.
about her?
Oh my god!
This is her first entry. We get Phil Coulson back as well. We get Scarlett Johansson as Natalie Rushman, Natasha Romanoff, and so she's pretty rad in there. That like weird, like not weird, but like that curly hair thing she's got going in here never comes
I
back.
think that's part of her disguise in theory, but I don't
guess.
know.
That's
Yeah, her hair's been different in pretty much every movie though. I would
It's
argue
true.
every single movie
She's
her
only been in
hairstyle
like
has changed.
5-ish.
Yeah, but like the next one, it's not curly like that, and then
It's
the one after
more
that,
of
it's
wavy.
short,
Yeah, the
and
next
then like
one's
the one
wavy.
after that, it's like blonde or something.
Yeah, she
like,
just
likes
it's
to
wavy
change
for
it up.
Avengers,
It's fine.
and then it's short
no,
for
what I'm saying though
Winter
is it's
Soldier.
always different. So I'm thinking it's part of like she's doing different disguises.
Why are we
she's changing
focusing
up
on
her
the
hair.
cosmetics of
I
the
don't
woman
know.
character?
Because most of the movie's so uninteresting
that's fair, actually.
that it's
We
hard
noticed
not
it,
to.
Ben.
Can we talk about how her character? Nobody is aware until the reveal to Tony that she is working for S.H.I.E.L.D., and yet everybody is constantly putting her in immediate danger. Where it's like, oh, hey, here, meet the notary who's here to, like, notarize this, this
Tony doing
passing
random
over of the
things
thing.
to the hot chick he encounters
Yeah, but, like,
is pretty
well,
standard.
she's the notary to do the thing, but then like immediately he's like, I want her as my assistant because Pepper is now the CEO.
Yeah.
So
And
then
well,
she's the
he's
assistant,
also
so she
thinking he's
follows him
gonna
around.
die.
I'm talking
so
more
he's
like- See, I'm talking more like he's, practicing with Happy. He goes to talk with Pepper, and he's like, you, notary, go step in that boxing ring for a minute.
I mean,
And then she,
I
like,
guess.
he's known
Krav
for
Maga's
doing
the fuck out of
weird
him.
Things. That's the
So, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, and I don't know. It just seems like she keeps getting put into that. Same thing with Pepper, honestly. She jumps in the car during the Monaco race for zero
I'm
reason.
not really
that
sure
didn't
why
make
Pepper felt the need. It was like Happy already had the briefcase. All
Yeah.
you need to do is to go tell Happy to bring it to Tony.
That was just
Right.
dumb. It didn't even result
just-
in anything except for her
Yeah.
screeching at the end.
yeah, it was like,
Yes.
oh,
Or
at the
Pepper's
end
in
of that
danger.
sequence.
A lot of
Yeah.
her going, oh my God, and Tony being like, pass me the fucking briefcase.
Yeah, but that didn't.
It is one of the cooler Iron Man suits. The briefcase
Yeah,
suit.
the briefcase.
Oh yeah, I
suit's
like how he
pretty
like
neat.
The little
pulls the
clunk,
lever,
like-
and it, like yeah.
And just drops
the,
his
like,
hands
accordion
in,
suit.
And then it
It looks.
That's what you
I think
need.
it looks the coolest while remaining somewhat realistic.
yeah,
Yes.
semi-possible with today's technology.
the next part is like nanotechnology. After this, I think. Or-
nanotech-
no,
Technology is the most recent. They
nanotech's
go a
most
long
recent.
way.
There's a couple
Do they?
things
Oh,
between
okay.
them.
Next is
it's like the pieces flying to
yeah,
him. Is
yes.
each like
Oh,
suit
yeah.
pieces like can come autonomously and lock onto his body.
Well,
I
I
like
like this
to
one was
think-
cool. That's my point.
I like to think that if he had more time with this like expanding briefcase suit, he would have added an accordion sound effect.
Wow.
So breep, breep. Now is there a hair on me? It's
I'm telling you,
this.
there's hair everywhere.
Yeah,
Let's
shocking.
go down.
Whoa.
All three.
Let's go down the list.
Do we got? Oh, we're already jumping to the list.
I
huh?
think we should start with
Not
the
much
list.
that
Start with the
fucking
list.
happened in
All
this
right.
movie.
Okay, let's
So
start. Let's
done.
get
Because we
into the
always
list.
go off on tangents, so we should start with our
That's fair.
our concrete stuff, and then we'll go off on.
That's
tangents
fair.
From
All
there.
right, that's valid. All right. First up, origin backstory.
I mean,
Not-
sort of Whiplash.
Yeah, it was like the other character
Sort of.
had one, but not Tony.
It's not in the sense of like.
I'd give it
For-
half credit. At
I mean, a
best.
spoiler comparison would be Iron Man 3 opens with a scene that takes place in 1999 to Tony. Like, that would be a yes. This one is like, they tell you...
It's just like settled in back there. Sorry. That's adorable.
That's good crosstalk. I love it.
Sorry.
Oh, my God.
She's so cute.
This one, like, we get told about some stuff that happens, but it's not really, like, we don't see it. It's not...
Yeah, our only flashback is the Stark Expo thing.
And even that's integrated into what's happening now.
yeah.
Tony gets the like message from his dad in the past of like, "You're the best, I love you,"
That's fine.
Okay. Sorry.
It's all
or
good.
whatever. But like, that's it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I would say it's probably a no. I don't know if you guys have an argument for
I
it.
would agree. I
Yes,
think
but-
it's a no.
It's either a no or a very weak yes.
I'd say it's a no,
Fair
and I've
enough.
been arguing it's a yes on the other one. So
That's true. Daddy issues.
I
mean, it's
this
Tony
fucking
Stark,
point of the
so-
movie.
Yeah, this is probably the daddiest issue movie of the entire damn franchise.
This movie has so many daddy issues. I had daddy issues.
Oh.
It's okay, buddy. I'm here for you, son. I mean,
Now I have worse issues. Oh no.
There. I'll make you some more strawberry shortcake.
It is, yeah. It is kind of amusing to me, and in terms of the daddy issues, that like it's such a prominent theme in Iron Man 2, but in Iron Man 1, they're just like non-existent.
Yeah, his dad's just not mentioned, but that in and of itself is sort of like a telling thing that his dad's so absent.
Well, I mean, it gets talked about in the little intro and his little like Wired magazine thing before the like award ceremony, and then when he's showing off the missile, he's talking about like, my dad used to say da da da. Where it's like, okay, you've got some kind of a
but you don't get any
relationship,
information about it.
But that's the thing
it's
is,
like it's all separated.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those where it's like it's not brought up, so you don't think about it. But then in this movie, when you get the information, you can look back at the first movie and go, "Wow, his dad's super absent." Like, it's like he's mentioned a couple times when he has to be.
It feels like it was actually thought out.
Right.
Unfortunately, Iron Man 2 is the second of 3 Iron Man movies, so it's just a bridging movie. You know, like it just kind of gets you to the next step.
That's actually one of the bigger issues that I kind of have with this movie is that it doesn't advance much in terms of Tony.
No,
they made it just
almost
to
nothing.
make another movie.
I mean, they invented a problem that didn't present itself in the first movie at all.
Right,
That's
and
what
then
I'm saying.
solve
They
the
made
problem.
the movie to make another movie. Like,
it's basically, and like, so near the end of the movie, there's a spot where he's talking with Nick Fury about like what's going on. And simultaneous with this, Agent Coulson is driving out to New Mexico to deal with the Mjolnir crashing on Earth.
Yeah.
And on this little floating hologram screen, you see a news report from Culver University talking about the Hulk. So, like, it just kind of feels like it's setting up the Avengers without much happen.
This also has almost nothing from this movie impacts later movies.
The only things I can
guess
think
War
of,
Machine is a thing.
Yeah, Rhodey has
being a thing.
Yeah, Rhodey is War Machine. Him and Pepper are a thing.
Yeah,
but they were hinting at that already. Yeah.
Well, they blew it up pretty bad at the end of the first movie.
I guess that's fair.
Yeah. But then,
I mean,
that's kind of it. It seems like
that doesn't need its own movie, is what I'm saying.
Well,
you know?
I'd argue both of the things that mattered in this movie could have been done easily at the beginning of the third movie. But
well, they would have had to do.
They would have had to do slightly more work with Pepper.
Actually,
sure. But
come to think of it, War Machine's not in the Avengers at all.
He's not really. At this point, he is. But
and Pepper is barely in it either. She's in it for a little bit.
She comes up in the sense that like Tony talks to her and stuff.
Yeah, and she could be. Is that a Guardians of the Galaxy water bottle?
It's actually got a little Avengers.
Oh, Avengers.
Look, you can't see this. It's a picture of the Avengers.
I'll scroll. Yes, hold it real still, and I'll zoom in on it. Yeah.
Nice.
I
can't believe you pulled that off.
Neither can I believe that
Editing,
you pulled that
Rick,
off of the water bottle.
Well, believe it.
Yeah.
I'm Naruto.
So here's a thought. Which was done better? Starting the movie with Ivan getting sad over Anton Vanko's death, or starting The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Harry Osborn being sad over the first scene where Norman Osborn dies?
I don't even remember that. I don't think I saw Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You are so much better off for not seeing it.
I didn't
That's the one with
hate it
Electro,
that much.
right?
What's that?
That's the one with Electro, right?
Yes.
I did not see it.
I did not like it.
Probably won't see it.
Probably for the best.
No, that's the James Garfield one, not
Yes.
the. No, then I didn't.
Oh
see
yeah,
that
no.
one.
Spider-Man
Sorry.
2 is fine. Spider-Man 2
I
is
was
probably
like, that one was not bad.
No, Spider-Man 2 is
Spider-Man 2 is
Okay.
probably the best pre-Nolan Batman pre-MCU superhero movie, maybe altogether. Honestly, it's really, really far up there.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
no, I'm
that's
talking,
why I was like, wait
I'm talking
a minute.
Andrew Garfield. I'm
Sorry,
talking.
yeah.
Green
okay.
Goblin
I
dies
didn't
and
see
baby
that
Green
one.
Goblin
I did not see that one. Then.
wants Spider-Man's blood.
That's spider blood.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, we'll keep moving. The Black Best Friend. I mean,
yeah.
as long as Tony's there,
And
Rhodey's
Rhodey's
gonna be
there.
there.
Did we give that a point in the first Iron Man?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I would give this 2 points.
Here it would
because
be,
they
yeah.
feel like
They're
friends. in this
actually
movie.
friends.
Yeah, they got each other's back in a much bigger way here. The world is changing. This one I'm still not expecting us to really see for a little
The
while.
world is changing.
This one starts coming up a lot in phase 2 and 3.
They touch on it in the beginning with the hearing with the senator, and
It's
they're
true.
like,
I'm looking for the exact phrase, though. The world is changing. It's so specific.
Okay.
Super specific.
Yeah, they did not use that phrase. They're starting to talk about how things are different now because Tony Stark has his own private weapon.
There was a great
that he made in a cave. There was a box of scraps.
I want to say best of the worst, not best of the worst. Half in the Bag talked about it when they were doing Spider-Man Homecoming, how there was an ad for Black Panther where it's just like,
the world is changing.
And then the trailers end and then Spider-Man Homecoming starts and like one of the first lines from
the world is changing.
The world's changing.
It's time we change too.
It's like,
wow. Oh, geez.
Marvel, come on there.
I mean, it's the motif, though. It's the same idea as the
Still.
arm thing that hasn't really come up yet either. But
the problem is they only have one writer, and he really thinks that the world is changing.
The world changes every day.
Yeah.
It changes every single day. Getting fired. The hero gets fired, I guess.
He fires
quits.
himself?
Yeah. He
half credit?
resigns, I guess. Or retires, technically.
Yeah.
I guess we can give that. We can give that the tilde. We can give that little.
Yeah, it's like a
the golden tilde.
Half check. Check
sort
minus.
of counts.
Check minus.
The Stan Lee cameo. This one, he's Larry King. Or someone who is confused for Larry King.
Yeah.
That's like a 1 second shot, too. Yeah, that's fast.
It's like, oh, hey, there he is. And then he's
gone. And it's this weird angled shot.
Well, it's supposed to be like a very active reporter, like
yeah.
live on the Broadway red carpet or whatever.
I want to say, isn't Larry King supposed to be kind of short, too? I wonder if that was specifically to make him look shorter for the shot.
Angle where it's
I don't
jiggling
know.
from up here. And like,
look, I'm much taller than you. Oh.
Yeah, I held the camera with my hand and everything. But that was a fast fucking cameo.
That's probably like the least cameo that Stanley gets in any of the movies.
I think so. We got
minor point.
A personal connection to the villain.
The dads were supposed to be close friends. Like it's
their
not
dads
really his personal connection,
but
their
dads built
connection.
the arc reactor together.
Yeah.
Like it's not just some rando that he's fighting. It's someone who has a connection to him in some meaningful way.
Right. Yeah, and then Hammer, you could argue they've been like business rivals for a while. Like it's still
that's true. That is
still
true.
a connection.
The 3-point landing
definitely happened at least once.
Near the end.
More than one time, I believe, though.
Yeah.
We'll have to check the footage if the first one was a 3-point landing or not. But it definitely happened towards the end. Absolutely. 100%. Check it up. Bold check.
A damsel in distress. The very last moment, maybe. You know what? I guess...
When she was in the car, but like even then, the focus wasn't so much on her as on Tony.
Yeah.
Oh well, no. At the end where the
bombs.
the bomb, yeah.
That one I would say is a little closer. Yeah. Because the idea for damsel in distress
is
more.
He was like Pepper, and he had to go rescue her. I think that counts because he specifically went to rescue her.
I'm
it's
willing,
not
I'm
a
willing
main
to take
plot point, but it does happen.
I'd at least tilde that.
Do we want to tilde that? It wasn't really
I'm
plottish, or do we want to just
care.
say yes?
I don't need to split hairs.
Either way.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Yeah, we'll say yes. Ding. Girl fight. I don't even know what to grade this because
a girl fights.
A girl fought and beat up like 12 dudes. So
I'd argue the closest we came to our original definition was like
2 women fighting each other, like designated that they had to fight each other.
Pepper at one point went to Natalie and was like, "I know why you're here. Get out," or something. But like that's the closest it got.
That's like not even a yellow tilde. That's like an olive. That's like an orange colored comma.
I'm not saying it should count. I'm saying that's the closest I think anything came.
I think I would agree with that. That like it doesn't get there. Thankfully, we get to see Black Widow kick some ass. But over time, unfortunately, we start to see a lot less of that from her, which is sad because she is really good with it. But
I get it. Like as the movies progress, we have each new hero is like stronger and stronger, and they get better and better, and like she's still just a person.
Yes.
So her taking more of a backseat and being more of a spy than like a combatant.
That's true. That's true. I would love to see her be a bit more of like a tactical hand-to-hand kind of thing, where it's more like I can't beat them by sheer force, but I can be real fucking clever.
It's hard to do that. You mess up anything in your pace,
It's true.
That's
fair. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, have her take the spy role, have her infiltrate and gather information. Like, that's all like well within her wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And like definitely does it better than like any of the other Avengers.
I am Hulk.
Right, yeah. So
Oh, God.
focus on that aspect of her, and then like now she has, you can give her stuff to do instead of just like
That's fair.
whatever happens later where I love Hulk.
Yeah, well, losing.
I love
what?
dogs.
Yeah.
Losing an arm is the next one on there.
No.
Not really.
No real arm interaction.
Not even a robot arm gets taken off here, as far as
the
I
closest
remember.
you could get to losing an arm is one of the formula cars loses its front right wheel.
No, that's
Stretch.
not.
I don't know, man. If you ever seen Cars, it'd be treated like it. Jeez.
That's a big old blank.
The villain is a copy of the hero. It's
Yeah,
almost
more or less
literally
again.
it's almost literally Ironmonger but with tentacles.
Yeah, well, with electric whips.
It's
kind of weird that both Iron Man movies that are out at this point in the MCU is just like copycat of Iron Man, or just like
here's
arc
another
reactor
Iron Man
copying.
seat with
Right,
an arc
yeah.
reactor in it
Yeah.
that I used to fight Tony with. They really just remade
It's
Iron
so
Man 1
blatant.
with just some more stuff in it.
yeah, they wanted Iron Man with more lore, but they didn't really like
They didn't know what they
earn
wanted
it.
to do.
Yeah. Let's see. We got the blue laser. So I marked this down as a tilde because they're not stopping
when
a blue
Tony
laser.
And Rhodes shoot their lights at each other, though. They kind of.
See, I was going more for the new element.
Yeah.
The whole thing that
yes,
saves
there's
him is
that
his
whole blue
crazy
laser.
blue miniature hadron
I
collider.
would absolutely count that blue laser.
Right, especially considering
I disagree.
Yeah.
The nature of the quote-unquote blue laser is
Yeah.
a blue laser of death that's going to blow up a city.
Oh, all right.
it is for
Or
what it's
cause
worth.
mass
Though,
destruction, at least.
for what it's worth, though, the machine that he uses to create the new core is essentially a slightly miniaturized arc reactor, which means that the blue laser he is pushing into it is the same style of blue laser as the one that was shot into the sky at the end of Iron Man 1.
But it's not a Doom blue laser. I think Ben
No.
is. I
Right.
think Ben has a point.
That's
with that.
all.
Did-
Like the spirit of the blue laser is like one that is threatening and
Bad
dooming
blue
the
laser.
city in some way.
That's why I was thinking a tilde. It is a blue laser, and it is fundamental to the plot moving forward, but it's not a laser that has to be stopped.
Yeah.
It's a blue laser that helps the heroes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
little whoop going in there.
I disagree, but I can see where it's like.
The bad guy lives. This one is weird because there's two bad guys. We can't exactly give it. I guess there were two bad guys in Iron Man 1
Hammer gets
also.
arrested and pulled away.
Yeah, Hammer gets arrested, and Vanko
The real
blows
bad
himself
guy,
up.
The real bad guy is Ivan.
Yeah,
he's the real bad guy. Hammer is more of a. He starts out as the guy who like sets things in motion by getting Ivan out of prison, but he ends up being kind of a patsy where like Ivan is using him towards the end of it. Like he's not even.
He goes above his pay grade and like gets in way over his head.
Yeah, I mean, like he's a bad guy,
Yeah.
but he's not the bad guy.
I'd argue though that Rhodes and Tony were trying to take him alive, like they'd smooshed him
they
out
were
of the
trying.
sky, but then
Then
he
he's like,
exploded
nah.
himself. Like
Yeah, he's like, nah, I'm gonna boop.
I would not count this because he clearly explodes himself.
I was
in my
gonna count as a
opinion.
tilde just because there's one yes and one no.
Eh.
We never really clarified
Hammer's
how to
not
deal with yes
really-
and
Well,
no.
how about this though?
Yeah.
When does Justin Hammer come up later in the MCU?
He does come up one more time.
Oh, he does.
He does.
All right, then I suppose that's
All right,
fine.
half
All right.
credit then.
Uh,
I was gonna
Continue.
say if he never shows up again, then it was like, does he
He's
really
effectively
live if he doesn't
dead.
live
Agreed.
through?
Agreed. If he just doesn't show up again at all, then it's like, sequel hook. I mean, the whole last scene with Nick Fury is a glorified sequel hook. And then you've got the Mjolnir scene, which is not even
really
a sequel hook.
sequel
It's like a
it's the
series
continue-
hook.
Right.
Again,
Like-
probably the best thing that this movie does is just like say, "Hey, more movies are coming."
This movie is very much like, yes, we're going to have Iron Man as part of this Avengers thing, which means it's an Avengers thing that's happening. And yes,
Yeah.
there's also going to be a Thor thing. Stay tuned.
I think Iron Man 2 might be the first truly egregious example of a movie of an MCU movie that is just there to advertise other MCU movies, because
This
it
one's pretty bad
advertises
about it.
in a lot of ways. It advertises Iron Man 1. It advertises the Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man 1 done again.
It advertises Thor, and it advertises the Avengers. It even has Cap's shield, so it's advertised.
Yeah.
It literally advertises every other Phase 1 movie.
Yeah,
I think it was it was when they realized they were really going to do it. I think the first
was
two
the
they
first
weren't
one,
sure. And then that one they were like, yes, it's going to happen. Let's like make a big deal about it and like make it clear that we're going to expand this because this was either going to be the wrap-up movie or the one where we exploded.
Right.
I think that Iron Man 2 had one job to do, and it was to get people interested enough in Iron Man 2, just enough that they would be interested in the next movies that were coming.
Right.
Like, hook people in just
be
enough
committed
so
to
they're
this.
excited for the next one, because we don't have a lot for this.
It's so weird because, like...
They really did. They really pulled
They
it
didn't
all on
need to
Iron Man.
expand.
It's funny.
They didn't need to expand on anything between Iron Man and the Avengers. If he just showed up the same way he did, it was like the last thing we saw of Tony, outside of the little stinger from the Hulk, where he appears to be working with the Avengers, or the Avengers Initiative, or S.H.I.E.L.D., or whatever.
At least investigating.
Yeah. Is Nick being like, hey, Avengers. And, like, that's would have been the last we saw of him until the very beginning of the Avengers when he's doing stuff in Stark Tower. So, like, there was so little point.
I can see their point, though, with, like, they didn't want Hulk to have been the last movie that was out. They wanted, like, something that was bigger and better to pull people in, I feel.
Well, no, I mean, but there's still Thor and Captain America before the Avengers.
I guess that's true.
Like, so he would have been...
Thank goodness for Captain America.
Oh, boy. I mean, we'll see when we get there. I have a love-hate relationship with that movie, to be honest.
Thor?
I also
Or
don't
Captain
think...
America.
Oh, well, I think it's better
the
than
first
Thor.
Avenger.
I think Thor is a fine movie. It's like a child's painting, you know? Simple, bright colors... Not a lot going on. It doesn't make it terrible, but for what it is, you know.
See,
sort of
I remember
thing.
Thor being the exact opposite. Heavy Shakespeare shit, not a lot of color, a lot of like really boring tones, and really forgettable characters.
Maybe I'm thinking of Thor 2.
Oh boy, I hope you're not thinking of Thor 2.
Thor 2.
We got a ways to go before we get there.
God,
Iron
so
Man
many
2,
movies.
leaving such a strong impression that we're literally talking about any other movie we possibly can right now.
I think that's the best way to talk about this movie is by talking about
that's
literally
the thing.
anything
Iron Man
else.
2 just no one cares.
Yeah.
What else we got on
Cursing, the last thing on the list. We got a lot of it in this one, actually. We got Hammer's oh shit.
Yeah.
Early on, we got...
there's a bleeped out fuck.
There's a bleeped out fuck. There's two of them.
There's two bleeped out
Fuck you,
fucks.
Mr. Stark. Fuck you.
Buddy or whatever, yeah.
Oh, yeah, fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
Yeah. Which
we
I don't
got,
know
like,
if that
ass
counts because
clowns.
it was bleeped out.
But it was very clear that it was fuck
Oh, yeah.
you.
They didn't do a blur on his face, so you could see that still.
Yeah.
And then Mickey Rourke later saying software shit.
Yeah.
And ass clowns, I think, is
and
a
ass
pretty...
clowns, yep. It's just like, wow, they dropped a decent amount. Considering the most we got before was prick in Iron Man 1 and
prick
oh
also.
shit.
Does that say prick?
That does say prick.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, there was prick at the end of this one, too.
Yeah, the end of prick...
That's
the end
true.
of prick.
Little prick. It was a little prick again because I think in the first one he was trying to aim is like hold still you little prick.
Something like
So
that.
Tony Little Prick Stark. But that's all the list of stuff that I have in there. It's oh man. All right, Mickey Rourke. Can we talk about this alien-headed, sweaty predator-looking motherfucker for a second?
What else is he in? I can't.
The Wrestler.
think of his face.
The Wrestler is literally the only thing. He's also in The Expendables, I think.
Oh.
What else do you want to talk? I just feel like there's nothing else that matters for the movie. Like no one cares.
It's just such a weird.
Mickey
Well,
Rourke.
that's a really good point to make, and I know that you mean us, but also Mickey Rourke could not look more like he gave zero shits about his acting in this movie.
He did not seem to care about like for someone who was avenging his father's death.
He was there for
pretty
a
for
fucking
laughs.
paycheck.
I think Mickey Rourke got plastic surgery.
I think he did.
He looks real bad.
Yeah.
Yikes.
He got some funky ass surgery at some point, and he's looked strange ever since. I am sure I've seen him in other things before. He looks like a melted Ken doll at this point. It's unfortunate. It is.
He was in Sin City. Was he the?
He was.
Was he the buff guy?
He was the brick-faced guy.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Right.
He's the guy with all the Band-Aids on his... Marv.
Yeah, that's it. Was
he was good in that. He was really good in that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He was excellent there.
That movie was really good. Yeah.
It was.
Very stylized.
I don't know any movies he's been in except for Sin City. I've heard of The Expendables, but didn't see it.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 2.
I just feel like we've so wandered off topic again.
Yes,
that's all.
but
I just...
so yeah, he just seemed like he did not give a quarter of a shit to be there in this movie. Opposite Sam Rockwell, who is chewing on the walls so hard in every single shot he's in. At least he was entertaining.
Weird, yeah.
He was weird, but at least when he was on screen, I was like, oh, okay, cool. We get a little snappy, weird shit for a minute.
Hammer was just so awkward and strange
Sam
all
Rockwell,
the time.
yeah, Sam Rockwell played a villain that you like to hate.
Yeah,
it's
enjoyably.
Like, oh, fuck that guy, boo, hiss. Mickey Rourke was like, man, he has
I am
weird
that guy.
He has weird hands, huh, guys?
Look at my lips and my sausage fingers and my feather hair.
Yeah.
Give me bird.
Oh, Bird.
Yeah. Bird
What
was
the
like, he made a big deal about, I want my bird. This isn't my bird. And then, like, it didn't matter.
They brought him another bird, then they took away the bird temporarily, and then...
Honestly, I was expecting him to be like, take his bird, kill it.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, we can't escalate that hard.
And,
it
it's
just felt
appropriate.
weird.
It's
I don't
appropriate
care
that
about
he
your
wouldn't take and
fucking
kill the bird
bird.
himself, but, like... Still is
Ordering
like
a guard to do it is totally
just be
in
like
character.
take the bird, snap its neck, something.
Right? That's kind of what I was expecting.
Which-
But no, it's like shove it in the bag and then he just stands there holding
Right,
the
holding
bag.
a bag of the bird in
Holds
it.
the bird
A
forever.
bag of bird. And like not to mention, even if he had his guard, if he told his guard to kill the bird, then one, much bigger reaction out of Vanko. But on top of that, it helps build up the idea that Justin Hammer wants no part of getting his hands dirty whenever possible, that he will, under any circumstances, have somebody else do the thing.
I mean, I felt like that comes through pretty strongly anyway.
But ultimately, and I think this is, besides the daddy issue themes, I think the strongest message this movie sends is, who cares? I just don't care.
It is so hard to get invested in this fucking movie, and I want to really badly, but it can't grab me.
I don't remember disliking this movie when it came out. I remember.
Yeah.
I
I
just
remember
don't
thinking.
remember
I think
this
we were just
movie. I know
desperate.
I saw it, but I just...
I remember seeing it and being like, "Oh, that was pretty good." Yeah.
Well, so, I
there's
mean,
a bad guy. I'm like,
if you remember,
they're doing the
Things
thing.
happened, yeah.
If you remember, too, we got Iron Man in May of 2008. We got the Hulk in June or July of 2008, and then this came out in May of 2010.
Yeah.
So it was 2 full years before we got to see any payoff to this whole
I
event.
guess also at that point,
next
you've like
film.
forgotten a lot about Iron Man, and the fact that it's basically Iron Man again matters a
Yeah.
lot less because it's been 2 years. You're just like, oh, sweet, that was as good as I remembered Iron Man 1 to be, and yeah, sweet, Don Cheadle's awesome, cool.
Yeah.
In a lot of
Yeah.
ways,
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
just how you felt about it at the time. You were just like happy because it was decent and it was funny.
yeah.
I remember not thinking that it was great. It didn't have as big of an impact as Iron Man 1 because it's Iron Man 1 rehashed. But I
Right.
remember coming out and being like, oh, it was pretty good.
That was
I get
still
that, like
good,
a,
yeah.
Like a 6 or 7, like, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Now I'd say like that's like a 4 or 5. Like, it's just like, yeah,
it's
very
Spoiled now, Ben.
It's so hard to just like. I mean, we didn't even start this as a late thing. This is the earliest we've started one of these at like 6-ish, because it was like, all right, if we start late, we're not gonna have energy. And this one, it just like halfway through, we all just kind of deflated. You were almost half asleep. Like
I watched
you were
the
definitely
entire movie. I was conscious.
You were awake, but there
Made
was
it
definitely a point
technically.
where I noticed your commentary just stopped.
I didn't have anything to say.
Right, exactly. That's the whole thing. There's
what-
nothing
that's
left
what we're
to
saying.
say.
Yeah, there's nothing to it.
It's
so
my
I,
problem with this movie.
I guess it's time to kind of do our little polls here.
Yeah.
First off, before we
Okay.
get to the big one,
What do we do? Who do you recommend it to?
well, before we even get to
gosh.
that,
Okay, I'm sorry.
how do we grade Ivan Vanko and Justin Hammer
As villains?
against Raza and Obadiah Stane?
Who's Raza?
Raza was the Ten Rings guy. I guess he didn't really matter that much, but Obadiah Stane and the Abomination.
Oh, Obadiah Stane is definitely a better villain.
yeah,
yeah.
Obadiah Stane was hands down the better villain.
Yeah.
I think
No
thus
question.
far, he's probably the best one. He wasn't particularly amazing.
No, he's the best at like a 6 out of 10 so far.
Yeah.
Like
you get
Or
you
5
get the
out of
idea
10.
behind his character.
Yeah.
He's kind of a spurned successor just because
/ asshole.
yeah, because the son of the guy who built it up just gets to inherit it, even though the understanding is that Obadiah did a shitload of work.
he did all the business side of things, not the
Yeah.
inventing side of things.
and
but
left
like,
that to Howard.
Still
Yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
It's hard
Oh,
to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
successful without that.
Right.
It's the
No,
Dr.
no.
Wiley syndrome. He did a lot of the work that wasn't as openly appreciated.
Yes.
And now he's pissed off that
It's all
Nobody
getting
recognition
stripped away
appreciates
from
him.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I get it.
compared to Abomination. slash Emil Blonsky.
It's hard to call on that one. I feel like Abomination's a little bit better just because Tim Roth cared so much more.
He acted the fuck out of that role.
There was just so much more emotion involved.
Tim Roth was solid.
I give credit to Tim Roth, but not to Abomination. I think Abomination.
That's fair.
I think Abomination is a little bit worse than Whiplash and whoever the fuck else.
Justin Hammer.
But Tim Roth, like, I mean, I love Tim Roth because I love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And like those are my they're up there.
Mr. Orange is still one of my favorite roles I've ever seen in anything.
He's good. Yeah, I like Tim Roth. And like, yeah, he did. He put a lot of effort into a movie that he didn't really need to be putting a lot of effort into.
Right? You're like, Tim Roth, look at you go.
Yeah. You can tell when someone truly cares about their craft when like they can step into a role, be in a movie that probably isn't going to be good and still treats it like it's going to be Oscar bait if they put 110% into it.
So I would unfortunately ultimately say that Abomination is not as good of a villain as Whiplash / Hammer.
I see where you're coming from with the Abomination on it.
There's a little bit of a dynamic with Whiplash and Hammer where they are kind of part of the story, whereas Abomination is just like shoehorned in. Like he could be anyone.
Yeah.
I thought that Hammer and Hammer and Vanko did a decent job of playing off each other in the writing. I think Sam Rockwell helped with that, and Mickey Rourke did fuck all.
They each played a different side of the villain. Yeah, like they were.
I mean,
that's a good way to describe it.
In the same way as a lot of the best, in a lot of the better superhero movies. While the ultimate Whiplash suit is like a super copy of the Iron Man suit, they did a good job of making the villains dark reflections of the hero's personality traits.
Yeah.
So you get Ivan Vanko, who is this genius inventor dude himself, taught by his dad, who their dads work together, and his immediate thought is his immediate thought is not I'm gonna make money, it's not I'm gonna go and do shit for myself, it's I'm going to go and kill Tony Stark.
Right.
That is the only thing he cares about. And then you've got Justin Hammer, who's the business side, and his whole thing is I'm going to what was that?
I have to beat Tony Stark. I have to conquer him.
He wants to be the new Tony.
Right.
I think he said I have to pee, and I was like, oh, I mean,
I have to beat Tony Stark. I have to show him I'm better than him. I have to.
You can even see like he's just this Z-grade Stark, even when he's presenting on stage.
That's the thing. He wants to be as cool as Tony is.
But he's got
clearly trying.
Zero real charisma.
Right.
It's all like just pompous frontman bullshit, but no substance. So anytime he speaks, everyone's like,
okay.
All right. People go wild for Tony because they've seen results, and they don't see that out of Hammer. All right, so the big question then is, how do you grade Iron Man 2 against Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, and who would you recommend this movie to, if anyone?
Okay, I would say Iron Man 2 is a little bit better than the Incredible Hulk.
Okay.
But I think you've got a situation where it's like Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
Or other way around. Iron Man 2, Incredible Hulk. Sorry.
Yeah.
I would... Who I would recommend it to, I think, depends on like my state of mind. What kind of day I'm having.
People who enjoyed Iron Man.
Yeah, like kind of no one, but at the same time, not really excluding anyone.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't go and be like, you got to see Iron Man 2. I would never say that.
For what it's worth, too, I think from here on out.
Bad, if you wanted
but
to
if I was having a conversation about the MCU or about Marvel in general, like I could talk about Iron Man 2 and be like, oh, you haven't seen it and you're into Marvel? Like, yeah, you gotta see that. Like I wouldn't say don't see it either.
I think we've reached a point.
It's kind of a weird stance.
I think you can get the base understanding too. Anytime we talk about who we recommend it to from here on forward, there's an assumption of an asterisk that is people who want the complete experience. That's kind of a given.
Sure.
If someone's obviously you'd recommend, if someone's trying to watch all of Marvel, then you'd recommend it because that's part of the process. So
and I guess it's different. Like in 2010, I would recommend it to different people than I do now. In 2010, I'd be like, yeah, you gotta see Iron Man 2. Like, that's the next movie.
Superhero movies have taken a huge step forward since
now it's
then.
like, all right, you really want to see Iron Man 1 if you want to catch up, but you can skip Iron Man 2. It's fine.
Yeah, there's like no real information is conveyed that is important.
Yeah. So what would you say then for your ranking and who you'd recommend it to?
I'd say it's a little worse than Iron Man 1, but definitely better than Incredible Hulk.
Okay, you've got a little bit higher than I.
A little bit high. Yeah, it's a little bit more in the middle between for me. Because like I said, it's pretty much Iron Man 1 again with like Don Cheadle's fun. And like that I think maybe is what's pumping it up a little bit higher for me. Is I enjoy his interactions.
Don Cheadle
like,
on a
Don
bed of
Cheadle's
rice.
good stuff. And yeah, for people I'd recommend it to, it's like, yeah, if you enjoyed Iron Man 1 and you want to watch that movie again, but not just watch that movie again, like, sweet, Iron Man 2 is right here.
Yeah.
Perfect. Like,
That makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
I think, man. So for mine, I agree. Iron Man 1 is still clearly the best of the three we've seen so far.
yeah.
As for Iron Man 2 and the Incredible Hulk, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Really? All right.
It's really, really hard.
I think it's clearly better.
Because you have what you end up with
I
is
just didn't like
Iron
Incredible
Man
Hulk
2.
that much.
Iron Man 2 is a really mediocre MCU movie. I wouldn't call it a mediocre movie all on its own. I guess, you know what? Honestly, it kind of is. It's a mediocre movie.
Yeah.
It's a mediocre movie that has a handful of really nice spots, usually Sam Rockwell related.
He's so creepy.
Not a lot of horrible stuff. Very little in the way of like, fuck.
It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't
just doesn't
fail.
pop. Yeah, it doesn't fail, but it doesn't like wow you.
Yeah.
As compared to the Incredible Hulk, where there are some spots that are like, oh, okay, that's pretty neat, and then just a lot of stuff that's like,
Why?
huh.
Yeah.
So you've got a difference between Iron Man 2, which is like it's like every point in the movie comes between a 4 and a 6, and you've got the Incredible Hulk where it seems like everything comes between like a 6.5 and like a 3 or a 2.
I get what you're saying.
Man. I think
None of us are saying anything way different from each other.
No, it's just a
like
matter of
slight,
flat numerical ranking. It's just hard to decide between Iron Man 2 and Incredible. I guess I'd put Iron Man 2 just a nose hair ahead of the Incredible
Yeah,
Hulk.
it's like, which would you rather watch again?
Do I have to?
Yeah, right? Okay.
What's my third option?
Not just staring at the TV blank for 2 hours.
Tonka out of that little hole.
In there forever.
Oh yeah. I think I would still probably rather watch Iron Man 2 if I had to.
Right, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make,
that's
though. Is
fair.
like I feel like Iron Man 2 is still just the slightly better movie. It's annoying that it's basically Iron Man 1 again, but it's still decent.
I would recommend this movie to probably no one.
Yeah.
Not that I would tell people not to watch it. Well, I'm not going that far.
That's
like it's not
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like
Again,
there's no need to recommend it to anyone.
it's not bad any more than the standard nothing is worse than being nothing.
I think the thing about this movie is anyone who would care to watch it
Yeah.
already knows about it.
Yeah.
and has already
Like, it's
watched
already-
it. Yeah.
The only subset of people that I would recommend this to at all, and it's not even a strong recommendation, would be Sam Rockwell fanatics will probably get a couple like hey out of this.
Yeah.
Because there are some good him and his assistant guy with like the drone head being like, put this on your head. Put this on your head. He's like, I can't clink. I can't. It's like, that's not a helmet, it's a head.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, the scenes with him usually dealing with
I guess
Vanko.
they were humorous.
Yeah, I thought those were funny. But like the rest of the movie just lands with such a thud.
Yeah.
It lands with the same thud that the hammer drones do right in the last moment.
Hemorrhoids.
So I guess we're all still in agreement, at least for the first three: Iron Man, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, with varying degrees of separation between the bottom two.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts with this?
I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah.
Because the next movies, so we got Thor coming up next, right? And then it's Captain America. And while they might not be the best movie, I like Captain America. Just
Captain
spoilers.
America's a solid movie.
I like Captain America. Thor, I don't think is
okay.
a good movie, but like at least
Thor's
like
so dumb.
it'll be different. You know,
Yes.
step away from
Yeah.
Iron Man, and
Thor-
I think they're both
I will
more
appreciate
interesting than
all of the
Hulk.
random shirtless shots they throw in there because they really want to work the underwear model thing. At least in the
Iron
first
Man-
movie, they really try hard.
These first three movies are
And
definitely
Natalie Portman, so I can't complain either.
Yeah. These first three movies are. I mean, oh boy, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Oh,
the first
wow.
three movies feel very samey. There's not a lot of like genre difference.
Yeah.
The Hulk starts to go in the direction of a
Little more
monster movie, and then
yeah.
pulls it back and
Yeah.
doesn't really.
I think at least the next
Go
couple
far
of
enough.
movies will
Yeah,
mix
we got
things around a little bit. So.
Space High Fantasy as our next one, so that'll be a nice, strong departure from what we've been doing before. And then we get a pseudo historical spy drama for the one after that.
Yeah,
So
it's different. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah,
we
that's
get-
true.
yeah, so I think it'll be refreshing. I'm not going to promise to love Thor or Captain America, but
Yeah.
it's going to be nice to at least get something a little bit different.
It's kind of interesting and weird that they did 2 Iron Man movies before getting to some of the main
I really
Avengers.
feel like the second Iron Man movie was just them going, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, we need another Robert Downey Jr.
We need a launch
thing.
off platform.
2008, 2010, and then 2012 with the Avengers. So like they needed to keep him coming.
They just couldn't wait long enough for the Avengers one, I feel like.
All right, I think that's probably it. Unless we got anything else. So are you just
done?
Oh my God! I
just
guess we're
as done as I am.
We're gonna come back for Thor, and we're totally not gonna hate it. Probably. Dutch angle the movie. I'm not even joking. It's fucking crazy.
I'm sure you'll put in some clips of that.
I'm gonna shoot our stuff in a Dutch angle. That's how bad it's gonna be. Yeah.